Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard, and I want to talk to you today about how to be healthier at 60. Yep, happens to the best of us, but I turned 60 this month of August, and I want to share with you the tips and health strategies that I've used over the years to be what I really feel is the healthiest I've ever been at 60 years old. And I really feel it's very doable for all of us. A lot of folks say, oh, John, you've got such great genetics and you're going to live forever. Well, actually, it's not true. I was diagnosed with hypertension at age 27, believe it or not. And this summer, after doing a retreat for 2 weeks, during that retreat, my average blood sugar was 106/60. Really, really low. I figured out many ways and strategies that I've written about on how to navigate around blood pressure. My digestion was a wreck when I was in my 20s. I had heartburn, indigestion. I talked about how I did some aggressive cleanses that really threw me for a loop. And it really got me into healthcare and spent the last 30 years plus trying to figure out how to bring the digestive system back into balance so we can do things like eat wheat. Now, I definitely have issues with hair growth. Don't ask me to help you to grow hair because I can't help you there. But there's new studies that show that male pattern hair loss, male pattern baldness is linked to prostate-related issues. And I definitely have always had, since my 30s, had low back related or prostate related low back pain and have always had to navigate around a vulnerable, weak link in my prostate. And now my prostate is healthier than ever. And it's at 60 when most people are having real issues in that department. So there's so many things that we can do to prevent. And one of my major tips that I want to share with you is, one of my golden rules is don't sweep it under the rug. You know, when you get like a tooth that aches, if you try to act like it's not there, it's gonna come back. It's a cavity, there's nothing you can do about it, you gotta go see the dentist. Well, in the same way, everything else in your body is the same way. If you get some groin pain or tummy pain or abdominal pain or a headache or wake up this or that, you gotta address it. And I always say, address it early so you can use natural things, lifestyle, diet, routine, whole herbs they're very gentle and work with the body. And if that doesn't work, then you can try more aggressive natural things like extracted herbs or bioidentical hormones or natural laxatives, or stimulants or sedatives that do the job for you but in a natural way. And if that doesn't work, then you go to Western medicine and you get the job done at any cost. But there is a buffet, I call it a medical buffet, where you don't just jump to the medications, you don't stuff under the rug for years and then have to do some aggressive kind of therapy. You want to be aware early on. I think that's very, very important. Above and beyond that, I think being happy, not taking life so seriously. At the end of the day, most of us are going to die with some money in the bank. And I think money stress and financial stress and worry stress and family stress are some of the biggest stressors. And we know that the stress, the emotional stress is the biggest thing that impacts our optimal health. It impacts our gut, takes out our good microbes. Our microbes affect our brain tells our body life's an emergency, and we go south. However, we are genetically wired to break down under lots and lots of stress, we will. So, take life easy. I love what I do. I think maybe I'm blessed because I love what I do, but I definitely don't take it that seriously. I think that the thing that helped me do that was having a family, and I think I'm really blessed. We have 6 beautiful children, a wonderful wife that I love, a great family life. And I see early on in my career when I was working with Deepak Chopra, and I watched Deepak just become this mega successful human being. He's an amazing human being, and I love him. But at the same time, I had, not 6 kids, but we kept having kids, and one after another, it was like, how can I have this, push my career so hard and leave my kids at home with my wife to take care of them? And so as a result, my family became my absolute passion and my primary focus, which is maybe why I'm really sort of building my career at 60, actually. I feel like I'm really just starting out. My best work, my book, Eat Wheat, coming out in just a couple of months, is my best work ever. And it's phenomenal. And here I am writing it at 60 years old, right? Over the hill. But that's the other thing. When you're 60 years old, you're not over the hill. I have so many patients that come to me and they're like 60 and it's like, we're just winding it down. No, way. We have the ability to live a long, healthy, vital, productive life. I have no signs or no indication or no inclination that I'm going to slow down or stop. I'm more passionate about what I do every single day. And I think that's really, really critical. And then, like I said, devoting your time to your family, because your family, they're easy to love. And our nature is love. I believe that, and I've written articles about some of the science behind that. But we let a lot of things, stress, worry, family, keep us from being that love. We let someone else make us miserable. Well, why should we give them the power to make us miserable? The writing on the wall in Ayurveda is to do you, the Ayurveda of you. The truth of your life is Ayurveda, and how to let that out is what Ayurveda preaches and practices. So don't let other people's stress and dysfunction make you into a miserable version of yourself. Start taking action on your truth. And that, I think, is a golden rule. And starting with your family, because like I said, they're super easy to love. Okay, some of the basic stuff, like exercise. I mean, we are hardwired genetically to move. If we don't move, we suffer. There's no doubt about that. So that's a really important thing. And I do exercise almost every day. If I don't exercise every day, I'm in the garden. We have a house with about 4 acres in rural Boulder County, and there's never enough time for me to spend out there to do the yard work and all that I need to do. And I feel like that's some of my merging with nature and planting my garden and all that. I love that. I feel like some of the best exercise I get. But I also do go to the gym, and I work out every single day. I swim, I bike, I run every day. I use my 1-minute workout. So I'm sorry, 12-minute workout. I wish it was 1 minute. A 12-minute workout, which is doing 4 1-minute sprints after a 2-minute warm up and a 2-minute cool down with a 4 1-minute nasal breathing rests. The whole time we're doing nose breathing, and I've written a ton about that as well. Big believer in nasal breathing to keep the prana moving, and exercise is critical. I do lift weights and I do yoga about 3 times a week. One of my daughters, we have 2 daughters that are yoga instructors, will come to our house, and we set up yoga mats, and we have the whole family, best we can, do all yoga together, which is wonderful. And I also do go to the gym and work out there. So I think it's really, really important for brain health, for physical health, for your blood sugar. Particularly, I was an athlete and a triathlete many years ago, and if you were very physically active when you were younger, and then you you get those muscles used to pumping big time blood in and big time waste out when you exercise, then you get older and you stop doing that, those big muscles become problematic because they're the big gas guzzlers for your sugar. And if you are not exercising those big muscles the way they once were when you were a kid, then those muscles become stiff and rigid, and they can't suck the blood in or get the waste out, or therefore take the sugar out of your blood, and the sugar lingers in your blood way too long. And now you got issues with sugar affecting your brain chemistry. The sugar glycate sticks to proteins, clumps in your blood, and is the smoking gun, this extra sugar clumping with proteins in every chronic health condition on the planet. I've written a free ebook on blood sugar. It's critical to get your blood sugar down. I take my blood sugar still 3 times a week, in measuring my morning blood sugar based on what I ate the night before, some stress, some new herb I'm taking. I'm constantly aware of how my blood sugar is doing, and I always keep it in the 80s first thing in the morning. That's the very best thing you can do. I believe that's one of the most important kind of measurements that you all can do on your own to make sure you're out of harm's way. The other thing is we eat way too much. One survey said that we eat 100% of the food that we need in America, and we eat an extra 100% of the food we don't actually need. So as a result of rebooting my digestive system, doing our Colorado cleanse that we provide twice a year, I love it. I'm a big fan of rebooting digestion, rebooting liver function, rebooting lymphatic function, and rebooting digestive strength. So you're a better digester / detoxifier. And if you can't digest well, you can't detoxify well. And we've dumped 400 billion pounds of toxic chemicals in the American environment every single year. There's mercury on your organic vegetables. You can't wash it off. If you can't digest hard to digest food like wheat and dairy and even greasy fried food well, and you once were able when you were a kid, then you're not digesting well, which means you're not detoxifying well, which means you're not getting the yuck out, and the yuck is going to build up in your fat, around your organs, and in your brain, and that in the long run, in the second half of our lives, which we're in over 50 or so, it'll take you out. So eat less, and you can only do that if you are taking food in efficiently and delivering it as energy efficiently. That's the only way that works. And that, I'm a really big fan of making sure that happens. Eat clean. You got to get rid of the added sugar, processed food, cooked oils. They have to go. We've been fed since the 1960. I was born in 56. In 1960, they took cholesterol out of our diet. They replaced it with margarine and all these processed fats, which have congested our liver and affected the epidemic of prediabetes and diabetes we have on this planet. There's a direct link between liver congestion and blood sugar related issues, and that blood sugar causes glycation, which is the sticking of sugar and blood proteins together, which is a smoking gun for every chronic disease. So you can blame it on what they fed us for the last 60 years, and now we have to unravel that. By rebooting digestion, cleansing your liver, eating healthy is critical, very, very important. I'm a massive fan of connecting back to the rhythms of nature, as you all know. Eating seasonally. We put out a free monthly grocery list with superfoods and recipes and diets and grocery lists for every single month of the year for free, called the 3-Season Diet Challenge. Anybody can get it, it's for free. And the reason is because there's microbes in the soil in the spring that are completely different than the microbes in the soil in the summer. And the microbes in the soil in the spring attach to certain plants that are harvested in the spring. And when you eat those plants, those bugs on that plant from that soil in that season become your gut bugs, your microbiome. And that microbiome is completely different in the spring than it is in the summer, to help you decongest in the spring and get rid of heat in the summer and boost immunity in the winter. Remember my story about the deer who eat bark in the winter and leaves in the spring, right? Remember all that? And the bugs and the microbes have the ability to digest bark in the winter and leaves in the spring. But if the deer ate bark in the summer and didn't have the microbes for bark in the summer, they have microbes for leaves in the summer, it would cause such a level of indigestion it could possibly kill the deer. Okay, wait a minute. You're telling me deer die when they eat out of season and we eat out of season like routinely? This is not good enough. So that's why my second book, The 3-Season Diet, was all about that, but that wasn't enough. People weren't reading it enough. So we put out the basic information every month for free. I absolutely make an emphasis to eat more protein and fat in the winter, more leafy greens and sprouts and berries and cherries in the spring, and way more fruits and vegetables and greens in the summer. It's not what you shouldn't eat. Think about what you can eat more of as opposed to what you shouldn't eat. Eat more of the seasonal foods. You get those bugs from the dirt into the plant, into your gut, to change your microbiome and keep your genetics locked into the rhythms of nature. And studies show now that many humans have lost their circadian rhythm, their link between body and the cycles of nature. And that's what got us here as human beings. And to lose that is bad news, okay? Next, rest. Early to bed, early to rise. So much science now behind that to talk about, getting to bed. When I was younger, I have to admit, I wrote a bunch of books and I would do it from 10 o'clock to 2. And a lot of you get a second wind from 10 o'clock to 2. And I could surely let that happen still to this day, but I don't. I get to bed early and I get up early and the very best I can, depending on my kids' school schedule and stuff, I work out in the morning. And that's my preference. So that's really, really important as well. And then there's my Ayurvedic stuff, okay? I do a lot of Ayurvedic rituals or routines. Some of them I do in the shower. I've written a lot about this. I don't want to bore you with the details, but one is I definitely do an oil massage on my body every morning while I'm in the shower. It takes, after I soap up and clean up, put a little oil on my body. It's very simple. Put some oil in your mouth. We have a product called Swish, which is coconut oil and sesame oil with turmeric and a little peppermint. And you put that in and you swish it in your gums while you're in the shower. That changes the microbiome in your mouth. It blocks certain bad bacteria that relate to heart disease, and some new studies now relating it to plaque in your brain. Same kind of plaque, keeps the plaque down, keeps the right bacteria in your mouth. Your mouth and your whole intestinal tract is the protective barrier from the craziness in the outside world. If your mouth, your skin, your gums, and your intestinal skin break down, we're in trouble, okay? So that's really the key, and that's where I put the eggs in my basket in terms of herbs. The herbs that I take are whole herbs, not extracted, because when you take a plant out of the ground and you put it in a cap, dry it and put it in a capsule. It has tons of beneficial microbes that were specifically attracted to the plant, and they have a symbiotic relationship. When you take a plant and you take it and you extract it, and you take out the active chemical and you soak it in alcohol, which are what extracts are, and most of what you see in the health food stores are extracts, they're medicines. And medicines are good to get on, to get better, get off, but not what I would want for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. So I use whole organic herbs that are plants ground up that I use as my nutritional supplements, because I know I'm not going to eat the diversity of the diet, dig up roots and have exotic plants that have exotic bugs on them that are going to change my microbiome the way I should. So I get them in capsules, vegetarian capsules, just basically fiber, and then the capsules are basically fiber. And I have these whole herbs. I take neem for my skin and mangista. I've written, in the article associated with this video, I've written all the herbs that I take this summer to support my summer microbiome. Do I take probiotics? No, I don't. Have I taken probiotics? Absolutely. To reboot my microbiome, to get my microbiome there. I don't believe we need to take pills and powders for the rest of our life. I think that we can, and probiotics, I just can't imagine. I can take a probiotic pill until I'm 100. Is that's the plan, the new plan? What about, there's probiotics that adhere to the gut wall, knock out the bad guys. Let's use the probiotics and good herbs and good digestive strategies to get the digestion back on track, so you grow your own microbiome so it's yours. And then if you travel, get stressed out, or once a year you want to reboot the microbiome, absolutely, I'm all over that, and I will take probiotics for that reason. But I am at a point now where I'm feeling so good just taking these natural herbs that are sort of like natural probiotics, because they haven't been extracted or soaked in alcohol. They're loaded with microbes, and they're historically really good for the intestinal skin. And as you know, if you've heard me, I write all about the intestinal skin and the lymph system that drains the intestinal skin. So the herbs that I take are for three things: natural herbs to support good microbiome health, 2 natural herbs to support the intestinal skin, and 3 natural herbs to support real powerful lymphatic drainage, because your lymph drains every single cell in your body. And I've written in the article associated with this, my Healthier at 60 video, the things that I like to do to stay healthy are all written in this article. So I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you get that what we're really doing here is not just about being healthier, living a long life, which would be wonderful, most likely because I really feel like it takes a long time as a human being to get this thing on straight, to stop letting other people's stress and emotions and frustrations and issues become your problem and make you into a miserable version of yourself. How much energy we put into trying to make ourselves in a state where they approve of us, or they appreciate us, or they like us, or they love us, or how much stress are we under when other people freak us out or stress us out or make us miserable, make us mad or irritate us. This is all stuff that we can, as we learn Ayurveda and learn the game of life, which is to realize that no one has the power to make me into something that I'm not. And we can lay down neural pavement in our brain to lay down pavement that is based on our truth, to love more, to give more, to care more. And no question, I had no idea what that was about in my 20s and 30s. And now in my 60s, I feel like, yeah, maybe there's a little wisdom that comes along with age. And wouldn't it be nice to have that wisdom for another 30, 40 years? Yeah, I think it would be great. And that is why I do what I do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy what we do at LifeSpa.com, which is taking these ancient, time-tested principles of Ayurveda and other traditional systems of medicine, and we prove it with modern science the best we can, put it together and say, hey, here's some stuff that is scientifically validated, that may not even find their way into their medical doctor's office for the next 10 years, but it's been used for thousands of years with new science behind it. Let's put that in a package and say, here, let's try doing some of that today. Like putting oil in your mouth and swishing it around. It sounds crazy, but there's amazing good science behind some of these crazy things. So check it out at LifeSpa.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John. Hi, did you like this video? Do you like our content here at LifeSpa? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/John Douillard right here and get this valuable content every week in your inbox.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at lifespa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.